Hey puppy, are you a good boy? Did you just snore at me?
Hey guys, it's Jasmine and that was Puppy, and today we are answering the common question, can cats eat eggs? Before we get started, if you are into cat stuff, especially cat nutrition and things having to do with raw cat food, or stuff for humans like fitness and nutrition and other fun things, then please make sure to click that little subscribe button as well as the little bell icon right next to it, because we do put out new videos every week on Catterday. So the short answer to the question, can cats eat eggs, is yes, cats can eat cooked eggs and raw egg yolks, which you probably already know if you make your cat raw food and use the recipe at catladyfitness.com, because we do use raw egg yolks in that recipe. But that said, you definitely want to avoid feeding your cat raw egg whites and probably want to avoid eating them yourself. I'm talking to you, crazy egg white drinking bodybuilder bros. As for why, let's get into all of the eggy details. Besides being a part of the classic breakfast for most people and seemingly a universal kitchen staple, eggs, and we're focusing on chicken eggs for the most part, are specifically made up of 8 parts. Those parts are the shell, the inner and outer membrane, the air cell, which is that air pocket that's at the larger end of the egg on the inside, the albumin, or as most people call it, the egg white, the chalaza, which is that stringy, almost rope tendon-like piece which connects the yolk to the membrane lining of the shell. And fun fact for you, the more prominent that rope stringy chalaza is, the fresher your egg is. You also have the vitelline membrane, which is the clear casing that encloses the yolk, and of course the yolk itself, which is the powerhouse of the egg when it comes to nutrients, including protein, fats, and vitamins and minerals like iron, vitamin A, vitamin D, phosphorus, calcium, thiamine, and riboflavin. And if you've ever wondered about the color of the yolk and why it can range on a really pale yellow to a dark, rich orange color, depending on where you get your eggs from or what brand of eggs you get, that depends on the breed and the feed of the hen. So that's why typically if you get eggs from hens that are pasture raised and organic, you'll notice that the yolk is a darker orange hue compared to commercially mass-produced eggs, which tend to be a lighter pale yellow. This is why I do suggest, along with the meat and organs that are in the raw cat food recipe, if it's possible for you and within your budget to get high quality eggs, that would definitely be best. And while you're at it, if you eat eggs, then you should definitely opt for the more nutrient-rich eggs for yourself. And actually, quick plug, I discuss that and a whole lot more in my book, The Grocery Store Tour Guide and Nutritional Workbook, which is actually right there. If you want to learn more about that, then you can check it out on my website for humans, truehealthtrifecta.com, or you can just look it up on Amazon. Now, it's no secret, especially if you've had an outdoor cat or you've lived on a barn or somewhere with livestock around, that cats have a fondness for stealing eggs. The interesting thing is they don't just simply do it because they're bored and feel like eating an egg, although I'm sure that could be a possibility some of the time. But animals, and especially wild animals, will be attracted to and go for certain foods that inherently fulfill a nutritional need that they have. This is something that we've spoken about before. If you've been with us at Cat Lady Fitness for a little bit, then you might remember from the Importance of Taurine trilogy, we discussed how in the wild, lions will eat the heart first of their kill because the heart contains the most concentrated amount of taurine. So what is it about eggs or in eggs that cats could be inherently craving when it comes to fulfilling certain nutritional needs? Believe it or not, the shell is not only consumable, but it's 90% calcium carbonate. Along with the membrane, it provides important nutrients like keratin, glucosamine, collagens, and chondroitin sulfate. liability, all of which, interestingly enough, make it very closely comparable to chicken bones. This is why ground up eggshells make a sufficient substitution for the chicken bone in our raw cat food recipe. And I do have a couple of videos discussing chicken bone substitutions as well as how to make the eggshell powder, which I will link in the description. It's also worth mentioning that if your cat is suffering from renal or kidney issues and you want to transition your cat to a raw food diet, eggshell powder is actually even better than chicken bone in some cases because it contains significantly less sodium and phosphorus. Now onto the yolk of the egg. Not only can your cat eat the egg yolk, but it actually makes a pretty good snack if you get a small egg yolk and give it to your cat a few times a week in order to boost the intake of protein and essential fat. Egg yolks contain 19 different amino acids, and 10 of those are considered essential for cats, which means that cats need to get them from their diet. So feeding your cat raw or cooked egg yolks can definitely be beneficial. And if you are asking yourself, won't my cat get salmonella or something if I feed him or her raw egg yolks? Basically, when it comes to eating raw egg yolk and the threat of harmful bacteria like salmonella, your cat has the same risk that you do when you opt to eat a soft-centered poached egg or runny yolks to dip your toast in. Except the difference is, if harmful bacteria is present, your cat's system and digestive tract would be much more likely to successfully defend itself when compared to humans because it is so acidic. Look who it is! Thank you for making time for us today. You good boy. Look at that muscly thigh. Are you lying? Are you gonna leap? No, you're just gonna slowly step up there? Okay. This is how bougie he is. He literally climbs up to the one spot being blocked by my head. Is that how it's gonna be, puppy? Now, what about the egg whites or albumin? Well, this is something that you do definitely want to avoid because raw egg whites contain a protein called avidin. And avidin hinders the absorption of biotin, which is a B vitamin that plays an important role in the function of your nervous system and the health of your hair, skin, and nails. You can take heed of this too as a human because the symptoms of biotin deficiency are similar in humans or cats, and they can include things like hair loss or skin rashes or red scaly patches. Now that said, if you are making up some scrambled eggs and you want to give your cat a little bit, that's totally fine because cooking actually denatures the avidin. So can cats eat eggs? And even raw eggs? Sure they can. Just make sure to keep them away from raw egg whites in order to avoid any potential health issues. And even though it may be needless to say, your cat's entire diet cannot be made up of raw egg yolks or cooked whole eggs. But if you are new here and you do want to know the best, healthiest diet that you can feed your cat so they can be a very enlightened and somewhat entitled house lion like this guy, then make sure to check our website, catladyfitness.com, where you can find the entire cat stuff playlist as well as recipes and tons of information about that. All right, guys, we hope you found this video interesting or helpful. If you did, please click that thumbs up below and feel free to share it with any fellow cat parents. And also remember to subscribe so you can get notified whenever we put videos out about stuff like this or whatever else we feel like posting. And by the way, welcome and thank you to the, I think it's nearly 60,000 people now who have recently started following Puppy and I on Facebook, and to all of you who helped his incredibly depressing video about cats missing their owners surpass 1 million views this week. We are so thankful and excited to have you as a part of the Cat Lady Fitness family and hope that you enjoy everything that we continue to create and put out there for your viewing and entertainment and hopefully a lot of the time educational pleasure. As always, thank you guys so much for watching and we will see you next week. Bye!